Friday. This is Gloria starting off our TCSN with world news about a Russian mine collapse. Rescue workers are searching for 26 Russian miners after 2 explosions caused a mine in the Arctic Circle to collapse. The men became trapped Thursday and are believed to be nearly a mile underground. The collapse occurred at the North Mine close to the town of Vorkuta in Russia's far north. At least 4 miners were killed during the collapse. 80 of the miners were successfully brought to the surface, but it's unclear if the missing 26 are still alive. Russia's emergency services said in a statement. The head of Russia's Emergencies Ministry, Vladimir Pushkov, said in a briefing that rescuers currently had no communication with the missing men. He said that the search for them was continuing, but that it was hampered by the presence of potentially explosive gases in some parts of the mine. A major rescue operation has been launched with almost 500 emergency workers at the site. Russian President Vladimir Putin has intervened, ordering a commission to be established to investigate the cause of the disaster and for authorities to pay compensation to the families of those affected. The local government has promised to pay up to $13,000 to the relatives of those killed. Local emergency services told the Interfax news agency that the collapse may have been caused by a so-called rock burst, which occurs when pent-up pressure suddenly causes rock to violently fracture, resulting in explosions. The mine is owned by the major Russian conglomerate Severstal and is located in near Vorkuta, a mining town in the Arctic Circle, also known as the site of a notorious prison camp under Joseph Stalin. Next up, we have national news with Billy.
The Michigan Department of Environmental Quality has undertaken a 5-part strategy. It wants to determine whether the city of Flint's water is safe to drink. The water has become contaminated with lead. Flint switched its water source from Detroit's water system to Flint's water river in 2014. That was to save money while under state financial management. The river water was not treated properly and lead from pipes leaked into Flint homes. Flint residents coping with lead contamination will be cleared to drink unfiltered water again only when outside experts determine it is safe. Senator sent a letter to more than 46,000 state employees. He said, "What happened in Flint can never be allowed to happen again, anywhere in our state." He said he wants a culture where workers' input is valued. He also thanked workers for volunteering in Flint in recent weeks. "We want to ensure that all homes are getting proper immediate attention, and now water tests will help in that process," Senator said. Now on to James with state news.
Our Bistro has almost been open for 15 years. A popular award-winning restaurant will serve its final meal on Saturday, February 27th. Our Bistro owner and executive chef Regina Mahalik says she made the decision to close so she could focus on other business ventures and her personal life. The business location is at 888 Massachusetts Avenue. To once help the struggling east end of Mass Avenue, and it wraps around Bellefontaine Street and North Davison Street. Mahalik's husband has been keeping an eye out on numbers, and estimates our bistro has served nearly 242,000 dinners since it opened. Our bistro employs 12 people. Mahalik estimates she employed 165 people over the years of the business. This is it for state news. Now on to Billy with science.
In a nuclear reactor hidden deep inside a granite mountain, sensitive detectors are hinting at a new 4th form of neutrino. Neutrinos are electrically neutral particles that sense only gravity and weak nuclear force. In fact, they interact so little with matter that 100 trillion zip through your body every second. Before this, there were only 3 known types. But this result from southern China suggests a 4th, which completely contradicts the physics theory. The new particle would have no charge and would only notice gravity. It would only be noticed when its invisibility cloak is shedding. Possible evidence from this particle comes from a mismatch between theory and experiment. If a nuclear reactor produces a beam of just one type of neutrino, theory predicts that some should be change their identity as they travel to a far-off detector. Collected by from the nuclear reactor in southern China during 217 days of operation. Researchers found that 6% fewer of the particles than predicted by the standard particle physics model. If this test is true, then truly a new age of science will unfold. Now on to Ryan Beam with good news.
Tian Fengbo, a 47-year-old masseur living in the Chinese capital of Beijing. He leads a happy, healthy, successful life. However, there's one catch. Mr. Tian is blind. Fengbo's seeing eye dog is named Chow Chow. On Monday, Fengbo was walking down the street with Chow Chow, and she was stolen by a gang of thieves, probably to sell her meat because dog meat is a delicacy in China. Without the sensory aid of the 7-year-old black lab, Fengbo was helpless and refused to go out in public with his family to search for the dog. The man was depressed and distraught over the loss of his best animal friend. However, the following evening, this Tuesday night, something miraculous happened. The gang of thieves returned Chow Chow in the dead of night, leaving the dog unharmed on Mr. Tian's doorstep with a note tied to her collar. The note from the thieves was a note of apology. It explained that not long after kidnapping the animal, they had realized the dog was a seeing eye dog and realized Mr. Tian must have been blind and was probably helpless without her. They further elaborated, saying they had asked around to figure out where Fengbo lived and returned the dog with the note. When interviewed, Fengbo commented that he hopes the thieves steal no more animals. Regardless of whether or not this happens, we are all relieved to know that Chow Chow required no recovery and is happy and healthy again, safe with her owner.